Hey guys, Top Tier Gaming here, coming at you with an updated deck profile of the PK Hero deck for the new list. Got a pretty huge boost in the form of Allure going to 3, and Goldsarc's off the list altogether, along with Allure. And things like Cosmo got hit, Dark Destroyer was this deck's worst nightmare. And with that gone, I think this deck can wreak havoc on the current meta. If you want to pick it up, I think it's a really good idea right now. And yeah, before I go into the deck profile, I do want to mention, yes, we have been gone for like a month. Got really busy, school was starting and stuff, and I took a small break from Yu-Gi-Oh! But we're back now, and we should be uploading content regularly like we were before, and I hope you guys look forward to that. But yeah, on to the build. So, I'm going to start with the 3 cloak, 3 gloves, and 3 boots. Most important part of the deck is this engine. As compared to like conventional heroes, this engine provides like survivability and longevity compared to like regular heroes where they play a hero live, set up their Dark Law, set up whatever they have to protect the Dark Law, and that's pretty much like their main play. So this deck doesn't start out at like 4,000 life points, and it also has more plays with this engine. But also this engine provides ways to protect Dark Law. Like boots can search Wings or Fog Blade, which both do well in protecting Dark Law from effects or from destruction, and that's really important. And Cloak, he's really, really important. You're supposed to like utilize Cloak to its fullest potential, and like when you have a Cloak, let me move these out the way. When you have a Cloak and a Dark Law on field, you can like push him to 3200, which a lot of people know about the effect, but they don't utilize it as well as they should. It's a really pivotal point of the deck is to cloak up Dark Law, because he's just that much harder to kill. Like especially now when Blue Eyes is going to be a prominent threat in the meta, a 3200 Dark Law can't be killed just by like an alternative dragon if it's winged, or just by being run over by Blue Eyes or anything like that. 3200 is really big, so you want to boost Dark Law when you can. It's really, really good. Oh, and the most important part about this engine, in case you don't know about this deck or haven't seen this deck, this engine works like a cohesive engine with the Shadow Mist because of a card called Transmodify, which I'll get to later. It makes them just a cohesive engine to get out Dark Law as fast as possible, which is incredibly important. And overall, it's just a really strong engine. Currently playing 2 Shadow Mists is one of the things I'm changing or like testing around with. This deck is going through like a pretty heavy testing phase right now because of the changes on the list. You have to fit room on certain things and cut other things. And overall, this was more of a quality of life change, I'm going to call it, because like drawing multiple Shadow Mists, like you can just lose a game like that. But I don't know if it's going to stay at 2, simply because you want to see it when you need to see it. But this card pretty much just is the main part of the deck when you turbo out Dark Law with it with Transmodify, bring it back with Levier through cards like Allure, Goldsarcophagus when you banish this. Really important part of the deck, and the reason it's called PK Hero because I actually don't run any other hero cards. So next up, 2 Marauding Captain. So this may seem a little weird if you don't know about the deck. It's really good in this deck simply because it fills its purpose really well no matter what it's doing. Like if you draw the Shadow Mist, then you can Marauding Captain into Shadow Mist and get your Dark Law, which heroes do as well, conventional heroes, except they use Goblinberg, level 4, make rank 4 plays. Most heroes are 4, so it makes sense to run Goblinberg there. But here we run Marauding Captain because it can special Phantom Knights and make rank 3 plays. In fact, Marauding Captain is a really useful tool to start Levier looping. Can just make your board like really huge, like you can extend your board and like the sequence of plays really high. And Marauding Captain is just good for that. He also has a cool little effect that rarely comes up, but when it does, it's great. If he's on the field and a Dark Law is on the field, they can't select the Dark Law as an attack target, which has saved my Dark Law a couple times, and it comes up rarely. But yeah, he's just a really good card in this deck, even though like he's normally just a really subpar card. He works really well in here. 2 Kagemucha Knight, I've actually bumped this up. I know I said it was like easily an easy takeout card, and it's still really an easy side deck card. But with the Allure coming up to 3, I wanted more dark targets. And this card I just realized is really good for like extending plays and making sure you get your Dark Law as fast as possible. Sometimes this may be your only target for Transmodify. And it just works with the consistency really well. And if you open up Kagemucha and Marauding Captain with like a PK, you can do some crazy stuff, which is really nice. So he just extends your plays, and he's just good for Allure, Transmodify. He just helps with everything. He's pretty much a dark Marauding Captain, except the reason you don't run more Kagemucha Knight is because it doesn't have an interaction with Shadow Mist, which is really bad if you draw them together. So just 2. Next up is the Terratops and the Tiktomborg. Yes, I don't have my Terratops currently. My friend Rob is holding them right now. But these are Speedroid Terratops and the Tiktomborg. This engine is too important not to run. It's really, really good for rank 3 spam, and you need it to start Levier loops sometimes, and it's just overall really strong. You need to run those. So those are monsters. On to spells. 3 Mask Change second and 1 Mask Change. So you play at the 3 good cards, 1 bad card ratio. You don't want to draw the Mask Change almost ever. It's not good to draw it because it only has 2 targets. So this card is just in the deck to search with your Shadow Mist. In Mask Change second, you'll search with Shadow Mist sometimes if you need to get a Phantom Knight in the graveyard. Most of the time, this is the one you want to draw though, because you can just with any PK make a Dark Claw, which is your main objective. It's just, and you can like make other things with this. You can make Dion with Marauding Captain or Flying Seed, which is really important in case you ever get Flying Seed. And it's just the main way you make your Dark Claw. So of course you're going to run those. And then the most important consistency card of the deck is the 3 Transmodify. This is the reason the deck works, is because you contribute that's not even a word, any Phantom Knight for a Shadow Mist, which is really important. 1, because it gets you Dark Claw, so that's the first and foremost most important part about this card. But it also puts a Phantom Knight in grave, which can help you start Levier looping, which is really important to make huge fields that pretty much if they don't kill that turn, you win the game. And it's pretty much a Hero Lives, except it's just better in the fact that you don't need anything. You can have things on your field to activate this. You don't pay 4,000 life points or half of whatever you were at. And it puts a PK in grave, which is all really relevant effects that make this better than a Hero Lives in this build by far. Next up is the 3 Allure of Darkness. Yes, another proxy. I'm sorry, this is the last proxy. My friend Mason has the 3rd Allure for me, but I just haven't gotten to pick it up yet. But yeah, with Allure going to 3, this deck got a huge boost because this card is amazing for multiple reasons. 1 being, you know, draw power, combo deck, you need to see your pieces. This helps you get there. 2nd being, if you banish Shadow Mist with it, or if you banish like a PK or Shadow Mist, it's super broken with Levier because it helps start your plays. Like, Transmodify is good for getting a PK in the grave, so pretty much so you can banish the PK and start Levier looping, but this skips that step altogether. You can just start Levier looping off this, or easily make Dark Claw if you drew a dead Shadow Mist. This card is crazy in this deck, so definitely play 3 of it. And next up, currently I'm running 2 Goldsarcophagus. It did come to 3, so I'm testing more than 1 of it. 1 for sure I think is really good because this is a way to make Dark Claw really easy with Levier. But also, at like the regional I played at and all the events I've played at with this deck, I've done some crazy things with Goldsarcophagus, like Marauding Captain into a PK, Goldsarc into Terrortop, and then like special to Terrortop with a Levier, and then make another Levier to get whatever's banished. And especially if you like have a Transmodify after that, you can make some stupid, ridiculous boards. And this thing has been used just to get things that aren't Shadow Mist, and it has like huge relevancy in that. You hardly ever wait the 2 turns for it, but I guess you could get like side deck cards with this, like back row destruction, just any important card you need, but usually it's just to extend your plays or make Dark Claw. And 1 could come out for the 3rd Shadow Mist depending on how I like this ratio, but this card is really good in this deck, so like that's right there is you add an extra Allure and an extra Goldsarc to the deck, and that helps consistency just a lot compared to what it was, even though it was already pretty good. Now it got a boost. 1 Rota, 1 Foolish, these are too good with the PK engine. This can start Levier loops just like Allure and Transmodify can. And Rota, of course, can search PKs, but also Shadow Mist or Marauding Captain, which are your main targets usually to make Dark Claw if you have no other way. And weird, odd choice here, I'm actually running 1 MST. Yep, just 1 MST. I sold my Twin Twister, so I don't have any. I might run a Twin Twister over this if I had them. But this is a combo deck, so sometimes when I had to use Twin Twister, I would lose a really important piece of the combo or a way to protect Dark Law, and it just wasn't optimal sometimes. So MST is actually really good for that reason. And like the back row decks, I think are hit a little harder right now. Of course, Demise still exists, like Demise Cleafort, really annoying matchup for this deck. But you run like full house in your side deck, and that's pretty much taken care of. So I am running the 1 MST because I don't want to not run any back row destruction in case I run into something. But now I can never draw multiples of Twin Twister or MST that will ruin like the combo in my hand. And it's just gonna, I need it, but it was messing up like combos every now and then. So just 1 MST. You can alter the ratios in this deck however you like. Then to traps, 3 Fogblade, really important trap card. Stops effects, and now that Dark Destroyer is hit to 1, this hits more things in the format, making this card much better than it was before. And of course it's a trap to special Phantom Knights, and the best trap in my opinion is the Wings because it protects Dark Law so well, making him either 3200 or 2900 or 3700 depending if he's cloaked or not. Which is ridiculous because monsters that big, especially monsters as powerful as Dark Law, are really threatening. And it can dodge stuff like Raigeki, any form of destruction like Alternative Dragon. It can also protect Leviers and stuff, so that's really important. Just a really strong card overall. And then I do play the 1 Solemn Warning because I feel Warning is too strong. My friend Mason currently is trying to add Strikes. Problem with Strike is the card is really good, and if I could run it, I would. I just don't know how to fit it. So if you want to alter the deck and somehow fit Strikes and keep its consistency, that would be really good. In fact, I would consider that an upgrade to this build. But I just can't do it, so feel free to change the deck however you like to play. 2 Dark Law, main extra deck monster. You just go into this because, you know, it's the main, it's even the namesake of like the entire deck. So yeah, Dark Law is your main win condition. Dion can make Dark Law, but he's also an out to Flying Sea, and you can do something with like dead Marauding Captains if you have to. Main extra deck monster, 3 Levier by far. You make 3 of this in 1 turn sometimes, relatively easy, usually 2 on the first turn. It starts all your plays, and it's a big, huge like advantage point of the deck. It nets a lot of pluses. And some games you really just need like 4 or 5 of this card, but you can only run 3, and that's kind of saddening. But you pretty much what I'm saying here is you have to run 3, you can't really run 2, it won't work well. And 2 Break Sword because, you know, the PKs, this is just a really strong card. A lot of resiliency is added to the deck through this card. It can bait stuff like Cyber Dragon Infinity, or like it was before Dark Lady. This was a huge out to Dark Lady. But it's overall just a really frightening card, especially when Gloves is under it. It can reach 4300 depending if it's Cloak Gloves and Wings, which a 4300 Break Sword is huge. Getting over like some cards that are like Towers type cards, you can just kill them. And then his rank 4s right now, I'm running Xyz Rebellion, the most important one, and He Beetle. Probably taking this out for Steel Swarm Roach because Kieran is such a problem for this deck. So yeah, Steel Swarm Roach is probably a better option than this, especially a 2900 Steel Swarm Roach, so that's probably getting taken out for a Steel Swarm. And then just some rank 3s, Dante, Equipped Engineer, Nightmare Shark. I wasn't running this in my first build, and like when I looked at my deck profile again, I was like, was I really not running that? There were so many times where I could have made this and it was going to be really, really good, but I was running Giga Brilliant instead before, and that was a really bad idea. So this is just such an upgrade from Giga Brilliant. This card's really good. The Grand Pulse, that's the rank 3 toolbox, and then 1 F-Zero because this card's too good not to run, especially when you're running a billion Leviers. So, yep, that is the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. It would help us out a lot and really appreciate it. So yeah, this was Top Tier Gaming. Bye YouTube.